Players of your era will automatically talk about the Barbarians games. Always the biggest game everybody looked forward to.
It was one of those things, you know, you remember you can get 2 tickets, and it was around Christmas time. I mean, just everything about it just came together to make it a great sort of experience, you know. It was always a day or two after Boxing Day, so you had the challenge of diet and drink, as we were all experts in those days. Training was always interesting, so depending where it fell, when did you do the training session beforehand? So training on Christmas Eve morning, I think, to try and get training in. But you know, this car park here with the temporary stands, 17,500 people, dark, cold, but packed with people. If you think back, you know, the galaxy of stars used to come and play for the Barbars. It used to be the fixture that, you know, a lot of international stars used to quite keen to play. You know, the Campeses, the Liners, the Sellers. You know, people that you wouldn't only see on, so you only see on internationals. It was one of those games you wanted to play in, without a doubt.
It was Christmas of 1969, and I'd only had 2 or 3 games in the first team. The fly half in those days was a gentleman called Chapman, his surname was. He was a lecturer in Loughborough colleges. I'd gone home because it was Christmas holidays a week before the Barbarians game, because obviously I wasn't going to be selected. And then there was a call. I got called from the grocer who lived about 50 yards away from my home, Brynhaman, because we didn't have a telephone. Hardly anyone had a telephone in the village. And they rushed over and they said, there's a man from Leicester Tigers, a gentleman called Jerry Day, the secretary. He wants to speak to you. I dashed over to the grocer's shop, and Jerry said, Chapman, the fly half, he's got the flu, so he's probably will be playing, but he might not be. So could you get here as quickly to Leicester as quickly as possible? Well, fancy that. So I drove up. I borrowed my uncle's car and drove up. So I arrived on the ground about an hour before the game, and there was no sign of this Chapman, the fly half. No sign of him. So So Chalky White got a bit worried. He said, get changed. You'll be playing. Well, I was a nervous wreck. I'd only played 2 first games, playing against Barbarians like J.P.R. Williams and those. I was in 2 minds. Yes, what a great honour to play against the Barbarians, full house. Probably my highlight of my career. On the other hand, I thought, I'm not up to it, come on. Anyway, I started to change. This was about 3 o'clock kickoff, 2:30. So all the other players were ready to go. And I had my shirt on and shorts. Who burst through? But this gentleman Chapman. So Chalky said, and okay, some of the players said, well, look, you've asked him to play and you got changed. You should have stayed, you know. But I was relieved when he said, yeah. Sorry, brethren, he's just arrived, and could you go back to your seat? And we'll see you afterwards. And again, what happened was they had their heaviest ever defeat. And I see, and if I had played and I'd been in that side thrashed, yeah, I probably would never be picked again.
Come Barbarians Day, there wasn't any room to be had. Every seat was taken. The terrace that we're standing on now was absolutely heaving, because there was no safety control. If you turned up, you got in. It would just push you in. It was absolutely fantastic. Yeah. My very first Barbarians game, 19-year-old, running out, was Gareth Edwards at scrum half, Phil Bennett fly half, Mike Gibson centre, Ray Gravel centre, Tikashiva, a Fijian guy on one wing, JJ Williams on the other wing, and JPR at fullback. I'm 19. I'd only ever watched these guys on TV. And to be playing against a back line of that, we lost, by the way, but not only narrowly, about 10 points or so. But I think we won the next year. Gareth had retired from playing for the Barbarians, but they still brought a fantastic team. I'm not sure whether Brynmore Williams was playing that year. The scrum halves I've played against in those games have been top draw every time. And you think you're a good player until you play against some of these guys, and then you think, well, I've got a little bit to learn still.